Welcome to Tech Brothers. In this video, we're going to learn how to run SQL Server Agent Jobs in batch file, and we'll be learning in this video how to create a batch file to run SQL Server Agent Job, and number two, how to schedule SQL Server Agent Job using Windows Scheduler. So let's go ahead and do this. This is my machine. This is my SQL Server machine, and let me first edit and show you what the query I'm using. This is my batch file right here. As you can see, right, the extension is .bat. So in this particular query, in batch query, I'm using SQL Server CMD to connect to SQL Server. -S option is SQL Server instance or your server name right here. In my case is Tech Brothers SQL Server is the machine, and SQL prod is basically the SQL Server instance name. And -E option for me is that use trusted connection. When I say -E and does not provide username and password, that means use my Windows credential that I just logged in on this server, so it's going to use Windows credential. Just let me quickly show you that instead of -E option, if you wanted to run connect to this SQL Server using different account, you need to use -U option. -U option, what it does is it's a username or login name, whatever the login name is on this particular SQL Server, and then after that you will use -P option, and that is for password. So if you are going to use different account rather than the account that you're logged in on this server, and then you need to provide username and password. So basically I am using -E option, which is use my trusted connection, use Windows authentication that I just logged into this server, and D is DB name, database name. In my case, basically in SQL Server case, all the jobs are in MSDB. You need to connect to MSDB to use this particular store procedure, sp_start_job, and job name is right here. Keep in mind -Q is basically telling this whole thing that this is command line query. So if there's another dash, not capital Q, in this is -Q, that means that okay, this is command line query. Once this is done, go ahead and quit as well. But if you use, if there are other command line or other command line needs to be run, then you use smaller q right here, -Q. So these are the options that I wanted to mention because we're using that in our batch file. So this is what it's going to do, is connect to SQL Server, connect to MSDB, and then after that it's going to use sp_start_job, which is a store procedure, system store procedure, and that takes right here the job name. So we're going to go ahead and schedule this bad job using Windows Scheduler. So we're gonna go ahead and close this. So let's go ahead and go into Windows Scheduler, which is in administrative tools. So we're gonna go ahead, open that, and up here you will see task scheduler. So this is using Windows Scheduler. We're not using SQL Server Agent Scheduler. In this particular video we're using Windows Scheduler. So we're gonna go ahead and open this, and since it's going to be our new task, we're gonna go ahead on task scheduler. We're gonna go ahead, right click, and create a task. You have option create basic task, or you have option to create task. Basic task would be just it wouldn't give you much of advanced options. Create task would give you a bit advanced options. So we're gonna go ahead and click on create basic task, because the whole purpose of this video is to basically go ahead and start a job on SQL Server Agent using batch file. So we're gonna go ahead and say start SQL job. This is the name of my task. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Trigger here is the scheduler. So if you wanted to do daily or wanted to weekly, all the schedule you can define here. This is, keep in mind, this is Windows Scheduler. So you have different options. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with daily. So my next is up here, you need to define whether what time you wanted to start and reoccur every day, every 1 day. So we're gonna go ahead and select this. You can also, once this is selected, you can also force this job to start. So we're going to click, we're going to keep it just like that, and up here the action is what action do you want to task to perform? Start a program, send an email, or display a message. Right here is start a program, which is our command line. So it's going to ask us that, okay, you told me to start a program, where is that program? So we're going to go ahead and start a program, click next, and here is the program or the script, and right here our start batch job is our script. So we're going to go ahead and click on browse and go on desktop and get this script. Any argument that you wanted to pass to this script, you have an option here. Any starter optional arguments that you wanted to pass here, you can do that, but we're not going to pass any arguments. All the arguments that we wanted to pass is in our script. So we're going to go ahead and click next, and here it is, just a quick summary that is going to run a program which resides right here on your desktop. And after this, you have an option of open the properties dialog box for this task when I click finish. So we're gonna go ahead, this is just the summary, we're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and click finish and go in the task. Let's refresh this. Alright, here is our list of the tasks that we just created. As you can see, start SQL job is right here. What we're going to do now is go ahead and run this job. This is not scheduled so far, but it is basically scheduled, but we're going to go ahead and force it to run it right now, to see that whether it works or not. So we're going to go ahead, right click and run the job, and it ran the job. So couple options right here. We can go ahead and look at, we're gonna go ahead and look at the history right here. As you can see, right here is task completed successfully. This is the history of this task right here. And we're gonna go ahead also look on our target SQL Server whether that job has started. As you can see right here, the job name is test. So our if you look at the time, it should be 2:58 or something like that on our SQL Server last time this job was started. So this is our SQL Server where we started the job. So let's go ahead and take a look on the jobs. And job name is test. So we're gonna go and take a look. Right here is our test job. Let's look at view history. And as you can see that it completed at 3 o'clock. So right here. So our scheduled work, we created a batch job, we created a batch script right here, and in the batch script again we connected with SQL Server, we connected with MSDB database, and we started the job, and job name is test. You can also provide the arguments right here that if you wanted to start a specific step of this particular job using Windows Scheduler. And I hope this video helps.